Okay, BG women play Ohio on Wednesday at noon in the quarterfinal round, the MAC tournament. Coach, did you want to make any kind of statement? No? Okay, we'll take questions.
Tournament time is the best time of the year, right?
Best time of the year. Certainly you work all year long to get the opportunity to get to the tournament. So it's a fun time, certainly for the players and coaches, and you get to start over again. And everything that you worked and built for to this point, you get to go for it. And so everybody's clean slate. And we all know that for a long time this league unfortunately has been a one-bid league, and so puts a lot of pressure on everybody to get to the finish line in the MAC tournament.
You healthy? Is Lauren healed a little bit? Some of the injuries that you had, having a little bit of time to rest here?
Certainly the bye helped us, again, get some rest for your bumps and bruises at this time of the year. I'm not sure anyone's completely healthy, but we've gotten Lauren off of her foot a lot. Tracy's getting as healthy as she's been, so just your typical bumps and bruises at this time of the year, and we're just continuing to manage it with those two, with their injuries.
Going into this tournament, obviously, the last several years you guys have been the top seed. You're the 2 seed now, but winning the tournament is something different. As you said, you don't always win because you have the top seed. What's it going to take to be able to focus on every single game and not the ultimate prize, knowing that Toledo's probably down the road?
Yeah, well.
Is it hard? I mean,
it's one game at a time, and we watched the game live as a team last night, and so they got to see firsthand how well Ohio played on the road at Northern as a team, and so I think we had our own basically scouting party last night while we watched, and so it was a good opportunity for the team, and so they're not looking ahead. All the conversation all last night and right up to practice starting today has been about OU. The nice thing going in as the 2 seed is the pressure's off, and we don't feel the pressure of being the regular season champ, and you're expected to win, and you have to win, and so it's a little bit fun to have the pressure shifted to someone else, and Toledo will have to deal with that the entire week up in Cleveland.
How did Ohio do it?
Ohio shot 50% from the field last night, which they also did against us the second time here in Anderson Arena. They really shot the 3 ball well, and as the year has gone on, their freshmen have really stepped up. Siobhan Robinson, I believe, this week will be named one of the members of the all-freshman team, and Aaron Bales, their hired gun off the bench, who's a very, very good three-point shooter, made 5 threes off the bench for him last night. Their zone stymied people like it has. Marquis Freeman barely got a shot off, and we know how good Marquis Freeman is and an all-conference player. And last time OU played us, I think it's the only time in Lauren's career that Lauren Prohaska went scoreless from the field. And so their zone certainly has the ability to shut down star players and shade star players. And I think they did a great job of taking Northern star player out of it last night, and they did that to Lauren here. So we're going to have to continue to have offense from a variety of people, but get Lauren more opportunities and better looks than we did here when we beat them the last time.
Curt, you guys have played really, really well in that last game here against Buffalo, especially offensively. I mean, are there worries about having had that break and kind of a rust or whatever?
When you're playing well, I think we won 7 in a row. You want to keep the momentum going and play. So certainly the bye was needed to try to get the rest, and I don't think anyone's won the MAC tournament that didn't have a bye. And so that was important, but at the same time we wanted to keep playing. So we played Saturday in a very intense practice like we had a game against each other. And I think that's the one thing we've simulated this week, is that we treated Saturday as a game day and played intense against each other very much in an up and down fashion to try to simulate at least a shortened version, but a game-like environment and practice. We shot the ball very well at the end of the year in our own building. We don't have a lot of time to adjust to a pro arena, but we got to stay confident and believe that we can walk in the queue in a big, mammoth arena and be able to shoot like we did down the stretch here in Anderson.
You've got a senior class that over the years has really imposed their will on other teams, and I mean, Going into this tournament, is there like a sense of determination on their part?
I think they're excited. I think they're confident, and they understand that you got to put together 40 minutes of effort, and that at tournament time, every possession is big, and every possession is contested at both ends of the floor. I ask the team all the time, are they watching the scores around the country? And when they aren't, I'm making them aware of it, and when they are, it's good. But a lot of low-scoring games in the tournaments around the country, and watching teams really grind it out, and a premium on how important every possession is, and defense and rebounding. And we want to get the game up tempo. We don't want to have one of those games that you've seen on TV in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s. But we know that that's what happens at tournament time, and we've got to be prepared to win those type of games, but we want to be more efficient than that.
For this year, was it important for last year to get over that hump in the conference tournament?
Certainly, as talented as our senior class is, they've lost in the MAC tournament their first 2 years, and we're devastated by that. So last year, getting the monkey off of that class is back, and our team, not going to the NCAA tournament for a couple years, it was nice to get over that hump and that they could win there, and they could win playing well, and then win in the championship game in a close game. So won in a variety of ways last year. I think that's really important. There's very few players in this conference that have gone to the NCAA tournament, and so the ones that have that experience certainly have a leg up.
Talk about the tournament games being lower scoring. Why? Why is that?
Well, at this time of the year, I think you see a lot of teams playing teams for the third time. We're going to be playing Ohio for a third time. And you just keep evolving, you keep learning about each other, and the intricacies of not only the offenses and defenses, but player personnel. And so it really comes down to the emphasis on execution really increases and how difficult it is to score when you know everything that they're doing and they know everything that you're doing. So a lot of games can end up in the half court, and we would prefer to keep the game up tempo and look for early offense. But you got to win some of those ugly, survive and advance games at this time of the year.
When you get to that point where you're thinking every possession's that much more important, is it possible to overcoach and not let the kids play?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's you see it all the time when you get into the tournament and you overcoach and you take some of the creative ability of your players away from each other, and they become a little bit robotic out there. And you've got to find a happy medium of what you want and what you're seeing as a coach, and relaying that to the team, but allowing players and good players to make plays when they need it.
You mentioned adjusting to the arena there. Do they give you just 1 hour on that floor? Is that what it is?
We have a half an hour shoot around on Wednesday morning, and that half an hour shoot around is at 7:30 a.m. So we are unsure if we're going to take it still at this point. If we don't take it, we will be able to get on the floor at 11 o'clock for a noon tip. So it's conceivable to say that we will have 1 hour before the game on that court, and out of that hour, I'm going to talk to them for 20 minutes in the locker room. So we won't have a lot of time on the Q floor to get ready and get used to the background, but that's where they have to stay confident that they're a talented shooting team and that they can make shots.
As far as going out there at 7:30, do you make that call, or you talk to the players about it and see how they feel, or how do you make those kind of decisions here?
That will be a program decision with a little bit of coaching decision in that. Our team's not a great morning team, so there's pros and cons of getting them up in the morning, which would be nice to get them started at the same time. It might create more nervous energy and stress for all of us if we aren't very productive in that half an hour. So we'll play it by ear on Tuesday night, what we decide, and if we don't shoot around, we'll still get up with each other and go into a ballroom or a banquet room in the hotel and walk through things. We might not physically be shooting, but we'll be walking through some necessary things that we feel are important for the game.
In the conference tournament, how difficult is that quick turnaround game to game to just get the players reoriented to who they're playing?
Well, it's more difficult for a team like us that's very scout heavy, because we put such an emphasis on scouting reports, and we put a lot of time and energy into that, and so our players feel confident when they know about all the players and the plays. But that's the good thing about being through the MAC tournament and being to the semifinal game or beyond 7 straight years. It gives us a little bit of experience on how to make that turnaround.
Any other questions? Okay.